Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. Prince Albert police say the death of a man found following a house fire earlier this month is not suspicious. The body of 51-year-old Murray Shand was discovered as firefighters were battling a fire at a home on 18th Street East the morning of April 8th. Paramedics tried to revive him, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. Foul play is not suspected in his death. It was a sad end to a search for a missing Alberta woman. 82-year-old Diane Cooper was found dead just after 7:30 Saturday night in the RM of Grandview near Kindersley. Cooper had been reported missing from Calgary on April 6th after leaving home with her dog. She had been sighted that evening in the Hoosier area of Saskatchewan. Diane Cooper's death is not considered suspicious. Her dog Halo was found alive. 2 people from the Laloche area have died following a crash on Friday night. Emergency crews were called to the 2-vehicle collision on Highway 40 near Blaine Lake just after 11 p.m. 4 people were in the SUV. 2 passengers, a 27-year-old man and 28-year-old man, both died at the scene. A 3rd passenger was taken to hospital with serious injuries. The driver was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The driver of a 2nd SUV was also taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. There's no word on what contributed to the crash. An investigation looking into an incident that saw an RCMP officer shoot a man in the arm has found no wrongdoing by police. The incident happened on May 28th of last year. RCMP say it began when officers located a vehicle associated with recent gun-related incidents on the James Smith Cree Nation. The vehicle took off when officers tried to pull it over. Following a pursuit, the Saskatchewan Serious Incident Response Team says the vehicle hit an embankment near Canwood. CERT says when the 32-year-old man driving the vehicle got out, he was holding a handgun. When he didn't listen to police commands, an RCMP officer fired 2 rounds, striking him in the arm. He was arrested and taken to hospital. A woman who was a passenger who was injured in the crash was also treated for her injuries. CERT has concluded that the action of the officer was justified given the risk posed by the suspect. RCMP in Melfort have charged 3 people after a shooting at a residence on Friday morning. Police were called to a home on Burroughs Avenue in Melfort where it was determined there was an altercation between a group of people. A firearm was discharged and 1 person was hit who was transported to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. 4 people were arrested at the home and 2 firearms were seized, along with firearm parts, a side-by-side, and generators that were found to have been stolen from a business in Melfort earlier that day. 32-year-old Austin Patton, 30-year-old Shayla Tataquason-Bear, and 40-year-old Tyrone Rogers face multiple charges and were scheduled to appear in provincial court today. The Canada Post Distribution Centre in Saskatoon went into panic this morning due to the discovery of a white powder. The Saskatoon Fire Department was called just after 8 o'clock this morning to the facility on 103rd Street East. 1 postal worker was exposed to the unknown substance but did not show any symptoms of being sick. The product was eventually deemed to be non-hazardous and operations at the Canada Post Centre resumed as normal. The union representing Saskatoon firefighters is urging the province to step up support for frontline workers, saying a surge in overdoses is straining resources. Union President Jay Prott says overdose calls have risen steadily over the past year and have surged in recent weeks. The Saskatoon Fire Department says it has responded to 301 overdose calls this month, more than any of the previous 3 months, adding calls have increased since Prairie Harm Reduction closed. Now the union is urging the province to take more immediate action, including more funding for frontline services and expanded supports. It's warning firefighters can't keep up with demand.
Saskatoon firefighters will always be there. We'll always answer the call. We just can't do it alone, right? So we need those extra resources now more than ever, given our call volume.
During question period, Mental Health and Addictions Minister Lori Carr said the province is focused on a recovery-oriented system and will continue to work with firefighters and community-based organizations. Well, Jeff, finally a weekend that we could kind of smile about and something to look forward to as the sun came out.
The sun came out and the temperatures rose and they continue to rise. A warm Monday to start off the work week, and Tuesday's looking warm as well, John. It's just what's coming, not so much Wednesday, but Thursday. That's the big issue, and we'll talk more about that later on. But ultimately, pretty quiet conditions across the prairie provinces today, and maybe a little potential activity up north. But all along and the short of it is that we're not completely done with the winter quite yet, because there's still some snow in the forecast.
Staff at Saskatchewan's 4 polytechnic campuses are wondering what the future holds after a year of layoffs. Last week, the institution announced layoff notices for 30 full and part-time employees. That brings the total number of people laid off since last April to 181. Sask Poly attributes all layoffs to budget constraints and that it continues to face significant challenges in the international education environment. A rebound in international enrollment is not expected next academic year. The association representing faculty is asking the school and the province what's being done to sustain the school moving forward.
We didn't have to worry about funding the domestic students, but now that has been taken away, we don't have a suitable funding structure, and therefore we have million-dollar deficits that we need to recover.
In an update on its website, Sask Poly says this is a challenging time for Sask Polytech, and these decisions are not made lightly. After months of uncertainty, a review determined that Laird School will remain open with a reduced capacity in the 2026-27 school year. Starting next year, the previously K-8 school will drop grades 7 and 8. It's part of a protocol when a school drops below 51 students. The Prairie Spirit Board of Education began a review last September when the Laird School had just 35 students enrolled.
And that was something where we saw evidence of beautiful growth in the community, people who were engaged in coming out to give their opinion, and they brought their small children who weren't school age yet. And so that was just one of the pieces. There was a very layered and nuanced process to this, and all of those pieces were taken into consideration.
For students starting grades 7 and 8, they will take a bus to Waldheim, which is about 15 kilometers from Laird. A quick correction to a story we brought you on Friday when CTV News reported on a Court of Appeal hearing surrounding a challenge against SaskPower's continued use of fossil fuels. In our original coverage, CTV News incorrectly reported the appeal was linked to a similar but separate case about SaskPower's planned extension and refurbishment of coal power facilities, where an appeal is also being sought. No date has been set for that matter. The appeal heard Friday is in fact about SaskPower's larger use of fossil fuel-based power, expansion including natural gas, and whether the courts can set greenhouse gas reduction minimums. CTV News apologizes for this error. Ahead of a key meeting today, Regina citizens took to the Saskatchewan Legislative Building to protest the continuation of the new AI data centre. Organizers of the protest continue to echo the lack of transparency from the RM of Sherwood and Bell Canada. To be located just south of the city of Regina, protesters cited noise and pollution as major concerns for the centre.
Transparency is a huge issue that we have. There's a lot of information that is not being said that we want to hear more of. People are being left out of this decision. The public is being left out of this decision. Why are we supporting such a harmful tool? What is the end goal here? Whose pockets are being filled? What impact is this going to have on our environment?
The project is expected to support more than 800 jobs during construction, with 80 full-time positions being created once the campus is up and running. Construction is expected to start this spring. The newest exhibit at Saskatoon's Ramey Modern Art Gallery features weather from around the globe. The exhibit is called Forecast. It features 100 pieces from different art mediums and from different time periods. It's meant to highlight the different weather people experience around the world and how it affects their relationship with the environment. The exhibit also has a piece of CTV history displayed with a weather board inspired by former weatherman Greg Barnsley.
If you come down a forecast, we have things that have never once been on display, even if they've been in our exhibit for years. I believe the one I'm thinking about has been in our collection since 1960s. And so even if you've been to Ramey Modern before, or even to the Mendel Gallery, there will be artwork here that you have never seen before. And so I would definitely say it's worth coming just to take a look.
The exhibit is on display until January of next year. When we come back, the pieces coming together on Saskatoon's newest library. Members of the public helping create a special art installation made of Lego bricks. Saskatoon book lovers are putting the pieces together to create a piece of art for the city's new library. Hallie Mandrick has the story.
As the construction of Saskatoon's new downtown library remains underway, it's not the only thing being pieced together.
It's a lot of moving parts coming together. There is 7,000 pieces that the community is building. There's over 256,000 pieces altogether of Lego that make up this mosaic.
Intended to be installed on the main floor of the city's new library, Where We Grow is going to be Saskatoon's largest Lego mosaic, featuring various plants native to Saskatchewan and created by members of the public.
I knew that people loved Lego. I did not know people loved Lego this much. It's been amazing to see all the families coming, all different ages. It is such a universal thing. I think it just speaks to creativity and people wanting to be part of something.
The creation of a 16-foot-tall Lego mural requires a lot of planning. Lego certified professional Robin Sather translated the design into a Lego pattern, which is broken down into smaller squares for members of the public to piece together, similar to a paint by numbers.
It'll look very photorealistic, and we've got people building panels, little tiny panels here that have up to 20 colors on them. So they're very complicated little panels, but everyone is doing so well. Almost no errors. It's fantastic.
After putting together their squares, folks hand them back to library staff who ensure the bricks are in all the right places before piecing the squares onto larger Lego sheets, which will eventually make up the mosaic.
You've got grandkids, you've got parents, and you've got the grandparents, and they're all building a panel, and they're all enjoying it together, and they're not just doing it to have something for the kids to do. They're all enjoying it, and they know they're participating in a great project, and it brings great joy.
Public library branches across Saskatoon will be hosting drop-in sessions for the next 3 months, where folks can stop by and help build the massive project, one piece at a time. Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Jeff's got a look at the weather forecast coming when we come back, and a Montreal business helping its employees thrive despite their disability. Okay, Jeff, I thought we were at our last blast of the winter, but this next one, it's going to be just, it'll be gone before we know it, right?
Yeah, yeah, Rip Van Winkle. You'll go to sleep, you'll wake up, and look, it'll be over. Yeah, look, the deal is that this one's a bit more of a prolonged situation, particularly as far as Prince Albert is concerned. But we'll talk about the Prince Albert region in just a little bit. As I mentioned, fairly quiet conditions, a little bit more active weather out towards the Pacific Northwest of the United States and Canada's western province, most western province, I should say. Big low sort of off the coast of BC and Washington State there. But across here, you can see most of the clouds staying to the north of us. The ridge is sort of in place, so we're going to keep our eye on the lack of active weather for at least a couple of days. And things change on Wednesday. So, as I mentioned, they still have some of the storm track goes a little to the north. And there's a little something that might come sliding through as we make our way into the overnight period. But we're talking about rain, maybe the risk of freezing rain. That's certainly true of the Prince Albert area as temperatures drop off. So here are the numbers we're dealing with as we roll into the overnight. As you can see, 3 degrees for Spiritwood, 4 for the Battlefords, 1 in Candle Lake, 3 in Birch Hills, 2 in Rostern and Nipawin, and 4 in Melfort. Most locations dealing with increasing clouds, and there is the possibility of some showers out there. And if there's showers, you might have some freezing rain, but these temperatures at least not getting onto the or below the 0 degree mark. Taking a look at tomorrow, though, but wowzer, we got ourselves 20 degrees in Spiritwood for a high, 22 in the Battlefords, 15 for Candle Lake and Birch Hills and Melfort, 19 in Rostern, and 16 degrees in Nipawin, and all these locations dealing with mainly cloudy skies on Tuesday. And winds aren't expected to be particularly strong, so a fairly pleasant day tomorrow if you want to be out and about, because you'll probably want to be out and about tomorrow as opposed to the coming days. 1 degree tonight, 60% chance of showers. That's about 3 or 4 in the morning. And depending on how things work out, I realize 1 degree is above zero, but it might be create the possibility of some freezing rain even with that temperature. Winds out of the west have 20, and then they shift around a little bit to come out of the east at 15, so relatively light winds. And then tomorrow, 17 degrees, mainly cloudy skies. Starts off relatively calm winds, light and variable winds in the morning, and then mid-afternoon, winds shift around to the northeast at 10, but that's still pretty light. So here we go at the 7-day forecast, and we've got ourselves 17 degrees we saw for tomorrow, but then the downward trend begins. 50% chance of showers on Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday, yeah, it's going to be a snowy situation. Temperatures hanging around -3 degrees, and that pretty much is the case for Saturday. A 40% chance of flurries, -2, 0 on Sunday, and clawing back to the plus side of the thermometer 1 week from today, but it's just 3 degrees.
Well, and if you want to maybe come up with a fun thing to do, you can see if 17 degrees, is that hot enough to fry an egg on the sidewalk? Or maybe you go to North Battleford, 22, maybe they can do it at that.
Yeah, sure. That'll be hot enough to fry an egg. Yeah, I'll see you for breakfast.
There you go. All right.
Okay.
Well, after losing 5 of their last 6, Jeff, heading into the final regular season game, the Saskatchewan Rush had the chance to clinch a home playoff game on Saturday night.
Skip pass. Haley, one more. Keenan swims on Holstrauser. Haley scores! Brock Haley's your hero!
Brock Haley's second of the night was the most important goal of the season for Saskatchewan, winning 10-9 in overtime at home. The Rush trailed after every quarter, but tied the game in the final minute. The overtime win gives the Rush a 12-6 record, good enough for 3rd place in the standings and a home playoff date. They'll host the same Toronto Rock on Saturday night from SaskTel Centre. 3 inductees for the 2026 Saskatchewan Roughriders Plaza of Honor have been announced. Rob Bagg, Dan Clark, and Paul McCallum collectively spent more than 3 decades playing for the team. It's the 2nd straight All-Canadian class. The trio will be enshrined into the Plaza on October 17th.
Do you have a community event you would like to promote? Or maybe you'd like to draw attention to your organization. Let your local CTV station help you spread the word. Contact us at 306-922-6020 or email panews@ctv.ca. You can appear on CTV Prince Albert's News at 5 and get your message to our viewers.
A Montreal business has found success employing people with disabilities as well as those who have autism or are neurodivergent. It's a model they've used for 50 years, and it's helping many of their employees thrive. Lauren Fernandez reports.
I always shake them a little to make sure that the seal is done properly.
Tommy Edinger is all about quality control. He's autistic and has been working at packaging facility Atelier Gem since 2021.
The longest job that I've had is here at GEM, and I didn't start with this position, but I worked my way up.
This isn't his first job, but it's the only workplace he's found that he says sees his strengths.
They don't thrust you into something that might be intimidating. They check up and make sure that you're able to coexist as a unit or as an individual.
GEM has been an adapted workplace for almost 50 years. Executive Director Maya Cooper says everyone here has something unique to offer.
It's really important for us to focus on abilities as opposed to disabilities. And though somebody who may be seen as having autism may be stigmatized or looked down upon in society and in the world around us, when they walk through the door here, the first thing we do is get to know them so we can understand what are they particularly good at.
A study by Deloitte found that 33% of neurodiverse people in Canada are employed, and Cooper says adapted workplaces help, and there should be more of them.
We are investing into a society where now all of us, all of our employees, regardless of what they present with, are earning, paying taxes, taking their hard-earned money and spending it on things that feed the economy and stimulate the economy, and everybody feels better about themselves.
And that includes Tommy.
You want to be able to have that freedom to feel like your voice is heard, and that's the most important thing about an adapted workplace.
It's an environment making an impact on everyone.
It makes me emotional. Like it's such a gift.
Working here at GEM has definitely gave me a new layer of confidence.
Confidence to take on the world, no matter what your ability. Lauren Fernandez, CTV News.
Mosaic is giving a $2 million donation to the Jim Pattison Children's Hospital Foundation. The foundation raises funds for equipment, research, and programming at JPCH and across Saskatchewan. The donation will also support the Child Life program that offers holistic, compassionate care to put kids and families at ease.
Brought to you by Saskatchewan Union of Nurses. Thank you to Saskatchewan's 11,000 registered nurses.
Okay, Jeff, I know we've done a couple of classic cars, and this one's going to go a little more into the classic realm. It is a classic car museum.
Okay, so we had actually just took my son to Atlanta for a doctor appointment, and we were on the way home, and we figured we would just stop by the place. I love that they have tons of old cars here, so we had an interest from the start.
I love that accent. The Old Car City, Jeff, is home to 4,400 classic cars, including the last one Elvis Presley ever bought. They're spread over 32 acres, and owners claim Old Car City is the largest and oldest junkyard in the world. They do a real good job of keeping things nice and spruced up, I can see.
Exactly. You know what? There's a uniqueness to this that I think is pretty charming, and
I like the forest aspect of it. It's kind of like where is it in British Columbia? They've got that creepy forest with all the sort of.
I think it's called Creepy Forest.
Yeah, that
Creepy
one.
Forest, BC. Yeah, exactly.
But there's something about it. You go into the forest and it's just.
Do I hear banjo music?
Out of this world. Anyway.